everyone, today I'm going to be playing 100 Days on a Bedrock add-on with actions and stuff. In day 0, I frolicked around, mined some iron, and then I found a village, stole their crops, mostly carrots, got some potatoes, and I found this cute bee bed, which I decided to make mine. Saw this villager take a nap and fought a zombie, and I died. So I went to sleep. Now, on day 1, I spent the day doing a lot of fishing, I guess, and got a cat. I decided to name her Cleo, and I saw this baby cute turtle, and I got some sheep. Then I started building a home. That was the end of day 1. On day 2, I got some cows, got a bucket, made some crops, and then I planted the crops, and that was the end of day 2. On day 3, I found a wandering trader, but I destroyed the trader for his leads. Made some boots, and that was the end of day 3. On day 4, I decided to do a little bit of digging. Hopefully, I find some iron. I made it all the way down to Deep Slate without a single piece, but found this cave instead. So I used water to get down there. Fought a lot of zombies. And then I died. Then I had to shield skeletons. Then I put stairs in my mine entrance. And made this cute purple Enderman bed. Found some diamonds. Found the skulk area. Found a ton of zombies and a creeper. And I almost found death. And then I did find it. Found some more diamonds. Found a slime. That's going to be useful. Found some more diamonds. Some iron. And a skeleton. And I died again. In the middle of nowhere. That was the end of the day. On day 8 and 11, I started working on my house. I made a little planter box. Started working on a roof. Used diorite to fill it in. And did a lot of strange block combinations. And made a window. And here's what it looked like by the time I was done. That was the end of day 11. On day 12 to 15, I decided to go on an adventure for spruce, because I hadn't found any. I went swimming, then I used a boat, found the mangrove, got some lily pads, found an acacia village, found a ruined portal, and then I tried to do this bucket clutch, but I didn't make it. So I had to travel 2,000 blocks to get back here. Then I found this flower forest, and I picked flowers all day long. Then I journeyed through the sunset home. Then I found these muddy pigs really close. Then I decided to place some flowers and make this place a bit better. And that was the end of day 15. On day 16, I worked on more crops. I made a spot for my wheat. Surrounded it in flowers and leaves. Then I made a smaller one for beetroots. And then I made this one, potatoes. And that was the end of day 16. On day 17, I started working on paths. Then I put some flowers all around the paths I just created. And it looked really cute. And that was the end of day 17. On day 18, I saw this Enderman and accidentally looked at him. Tried to get in that water, didn't work, and ended up running from him. Eventually, I decided to try attacking and almost looked at a second one. This Enderman was really wily. He almost killed me, but he didn't, and he gave me an Ender Pearl. And then I woke up my cats and went to sleep. Aww. On day 19, I decided to do some terraforming. And that's all I did. On day 20, I decided to do some building. But first, I had to go somewhere. On the way back from my travels last time, I'd spotted something. Also, I found this on the way there. I found spruce, but my inventory was too packed last time to get it. So I swam home in the sunset. And that's the end of day 20. On day 21, I did a little caving and got some more diorite, because I'd used it all for my house. Then some zombies spawned out of nowhere. And that was the end of day 21. On day 22 to 24, I started working on a barn for some animals. I decided this one was going to be big enough to have sheep, cows, and pigs. I didn't really have much of a need for chickens. And unlike Java, you can't hold logs in your offhand, so this was a little bit slower than I had expected. I used spruce to outline the roof, and then I filled it in with diorite, just like my house. Then I fell. Then I used some cherry fences, just like this, and a cherry gate. And here's what it looked like when it was done. And that was the end of day 24. On day 25 to 26, I started working on the animals. First, I got all the sheep in. Then I started doing a little bit of terraforming here. I started filling it in with water. And then I made a little well. And I used leaves for the roof. Just like this. Then I placed more flowers, and I found out I got a bee. And that was the end of day 26. Day 27, I decided to go into the mines. See if I could get anything good. I found some more diamonds. And then I found some obsidian, which is what I'd come here for. So I mined lots of obsidian, and it took a very long time. And my cat was also very dangerously close. And that was the end of day 28. On day 29, I made a path all the way to the mine entrance. Then I started building a little mine entrance to the mines. And this is what it looked like when I was done. On day 30, I needed leather, so I had to go slaughter some cows. And I just did that all day. On day 31 to 32, I bone mealed some sugar cane, and I made an enchanting setup, but I still needed to get more bookshelves. So instead, I started working on the building around the enchanting area. I kept it in the same block palette theme as the rest of the builds, with birch for the walls, and using oak and diorite for the roofs. And then I surrounded it in leaves. Here's what it looked like when it was done, minus a door. That's the end of day 32. On day 33, I bred up my cows because I was still running low on leather. Then I found a beetroot grew so I could plant some more. And that was the end of day 33. On day 34 to 39, I decided to go off on an adventure. I found cherry wood and it was beautiful. I found more spruce and a beautiful snowy biome. Then at night, I stumbled across a creaking in a pale garden. Then I frolicked in the flowers and found a pillager tower. I got a goat horn. And then I looked away from my screen and tragedy struck. I fell down and died in a hole. But I managed to get my stuff while I was in the middle of a war with skeletons. And so I sailed home. And then from day 40 to 42, I went down into the mines. I went into the deep dark. And then I found a luminous structure lurking in the darkness. I found some glowberries. And then I found a creature wandering in all places. It was a warden, and he killed me, but it was fine. So on day 43, I went around on a search. I was looking everywhere for a horse, but all I found was this baby little horse. I decided not, but so I got a llama instead, the only creature I found. So on day 46, I started to build him a little place to live. On day 47, I brought him to his new home. I made a nice path for him. And then I decorated it with some flowers. And it looked pretty cute. On day 48, I did a little bit of mining in a small cave I found. Then I decided to jam out to some of my discs. Then on day 50, I decided it was time to take a dangerous journey to the Nether. Then I instantly fell off my portal, which was in a weird location. I got some soul sand. Then I accidentally blew up myself trying to eat food, because I had a bed in my hotbar. So then I decided to go on a journey. I got some ender pearls from this enderman. And then I accidentally got too close. Yeah. Then, in this basalt delta, I found a nether fortress. But there was one problem I was having. Lots of fire. So I fought some blazes. And I nearly died several times from these blazes. But then, the problem I was having most was an invisible magma cube. That shadow was a magma cube. Then a blaze apparently fireballed me. And this was the long journey I had to take to get back. It took a very long time. I spent 3 days trying to get my stuff back. And just so you know, that's 40 minutes. Those blazes and magma cubes were unforgiving. They refused to let me get my stuff. Plus, it took a very long time to get there. I would run out of food halfway there before I'd even gotten there. Usually whenever I got to the Basalt Delta was the end of my journey, because that's when the invisible magma cubes would strike whenever I was on low hearts from everything else I'd seen. So this was a quite difficult journey. And that was the end. So I decided to craft up new tools because I wasn't going to be getting those back anytime soon. That was the end of day 56. On day 57, I decided to decorate and make more cheery things, but then I had to go back to the Nether for quartz. For day 57 to 60, I had to get quartz for XP. Then a fireball hit me and made it clear the Ghast didn't want me to stay. So I started playing some tennis with this Ghast. Then I decided to do some peaceful building on day 61. I decided that I was going to build a log cabin because I wanted to do something cozy and less dangerous. So I stripped all the wood and started working on a roof. And then I decided to do 2 days of caving. I found this nice cave, and it turns out it was full of creepers. And then it didn't really lead anywhere but this really cool grotto. I thought it looked super cool. Then I decided to go to the Nether. And I almost died. And then a Ghast fireballed me and I suddenly couldn't move. Then a piglin got me. So while I collected my stuff, then I tried to trade with these piglins, but he kept the diamond sword. Then that was the end of day 64. On day 65 to 70, I decided to try and do some villager trading, because I thought a lot of emeralds on hand would be a good idea. I thought I might even be able to trade my way to diamonds, but they were a lot different on Bedrock. Then I went down in the Nether again, but then I got my stuff and went searching everywhere for it. A new update had come while I was playing, and I suddenly found a Ghast. So I decided to hydrate the little bud, and then I decided to do a little bit of terraforming, a little bit of building for this new guy to live in. I decided to build him a whole place just for him to hang out. I also have made this before. It's a Happy Ghast parking tower. I'll link in the description. And here's my little Happy Ghastling. So I made a path to him, and here's what it looked like when it was done. Then I decided to get some, and then I woke up to vibrant visuals. I actually didn't realize that it had taken off my actions and stuff till later. So I found some diamonds. And I got lots of diamonds and then decided to do some stuff with harnesses. I decided to do a Happy Ghast fashion show. Here's orange, yellow, blue, another blue, magenta, pink, white, and gray. Then, for 5 days, I decided to do some enchanting, but I didn't have a proper XP farm. So what I did is I went and broke tons and tons of skulk. And that's what I did to get all my XP to enchant all my armor. Then, on day 87, I went and fought some more endermen. I needed enough ender pearls. Then, on day 88, I went and fought blazes, because I needed blaze rods to go with my ender pearls. So I made a little blaze farm, sort of. Then I went on a journey. This journey took a few days, but I found coral ocean and I found a beautiful desert. And then I found a library and a stronghold. I found another library, which I'd like to read in sometime, if it wasn't abandoned. Then I found the portal. Then it was time to go fight the Ender Dragon. So on day 90, I tried shooting all the crystals. It's a little bit harder than I remembered, especially whenever the Ender Dragon kept hitting you. It kept throwing off my aim. But eventually I got them all. I pillared up to this cage one, did a cool trick up, and then I broke the end crystal. Then from up there I shot all the rest of the crystals, which made it a lot easier to shoot than from the ground. Then I got the final crystal, and the Ender Dragon knocked me off my pillar. Then it was time to defeat the Ender Dragon. Several times I may have looked at an Enderman, but then I destroyed the Ender Dragon. Now that the Ender Dragon was destroyed, I had one more mission to accomplish. So I went out to the outer end in search of an end city. I also got some chorus fruit. Had to do a lot of one-block bridges above a scary void. But I made it all the way to an end city and found this cute baby Enderman along the way. He was so cute and adorable. I'd never seen one like him before. Then I went to the end city. I fought tons of shulkers. There was a lot of balls. And then I ender pearled over to the ship. Once I was there, I went inside, defeated the shulker, and got my prize. Then I got my Ender Dragon head, and I flew to the portal to take me home. Looks pretty funny when you fly. So I jumped through the portal, and I completed Minecraft on day 92. With actions and stuff. So I rode home on a brand new camel. Then I started building a place for my Ender Dragon egg to stay. And this is what it looked like. Then I added a few more flowers around to make it look a little nicer. Just like this. That was the end of day 94. On day 95, I just put a few lanterns around to make it a little less dark. Then on day 96 to 99, I built this little Ender Dragon statue, which was super cute. Then I slept in my creeper bed on day 99. And here's what my base looked like by day 100. I feel like we accomplished a lot and fought every major boss. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making this. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye!